How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Today I want to talk to you about some big news that's coming out later this week. Some news that just came out today and could show a collapse in a major asset class that a lot of people have a lot of money invested in. I also want to talk about some things on the horizon for crypto that are just going to clear up with time. That's going to make everyone, I think, a lot more bullish. And we're also going to talk about an awesome DEX you can start using. We're going to talk about some big news in the stock market, a big event that's happening to a very popular retail stock in the next few days, what you can do with it, and then also taking a look at why the market's moving, how it's moving today. If you don't mind hitting the like button and subscribe button, I really appreciate that. Turn on that bell notification so you know right when I post a video. The crypto market is up a little bit here today, 1.6%, not too bad. We're still below the 200-week moving average for Bitcoin, but a lot of these later ones are up 4% today, like Ethereum. Solana's up 3%, Polkadot's up 5%. Now, why is the market up a little bit? And you can see the NASDAQ is also up about anywhere from 0.2% to 0.5% on the day. So up a little bit higher in the morning. And you can see that probably was the case because of the fact that we had the 10-year treasury fall a decent amount right when this happened. We had the treasury spike, and then you could actually see the NASDAQ falling at that time. And then it fell, and now it's starting to come back, and the market's getting a little bit softer. The DXY also followed a similar pattern where it fell off after the market opened, after being really high last night at 109. Then it fell off pretty drastically around 1010, which when you look at the NASDAQ, you can see we were peaking right around that time for the day, and then we started to fall down from there. So it seems like everything is coming back to the 10-year treasury and the DXY right now. Now, we have a couple big events happening this week. First of all, we had the Tesla stock split that is going to take effect, and you're going to see that on Thursday in your account. I believe it technically happens tomorrow after the close, and then the next day is when you'll actually see the extra shares. Now, we do have some big news that comes out later this week. We have the Federal Reserve PCE coming in later this week. This is what the Fed usually looks at to really gauge inflation, and that's coming on the 26th, so that is Friday. You can see that we had been going up. We actually came down since March a little bit, then we stayed sideways, and then we went back up in June because of the high energy costs. Now, we also have a really important talk this week. We have Jerome Powell talking at Jackson Hole. Now, this is going to be really important because so many of the Fed officials talked about how they're going to continue raising rates until inflation comes down. But we're going to see if that's really the case or if he's kind of navigating the new environment with lower inflation, especially at that point because we will have already heard the PCE numbers, and then see how he reacts to it. Is it as hawkish as some Fed officials are saying? Is it as hawkish as the market has turned, right? Because a lot of people are now expecting 0.5 or 0.75 increase in September now. Comerica Bank, for example, though, says that they expect only 50 basis points in September, then 25 after that in November and December. And we do have the consumer sentiment coming from University of Michigan as well on Friday. So that's going to be another really important thing to look at. Now, with that in mind, I do want to thank BuySwap for being a partner on the channel. And we'll talk more about a major asset class that is showing some turbulence here in a moment. Now, before we go any further, I want to talk to you about BuySwap. BuySwap is a fantastic DEX that allows you to trade for 0.2% and get up to 50% fee return. So this is followed by 314,000 followers on Twitter, and they're actually real followers, like KuCoin follows them, along with other people that I follow as well. And they just announced a multi-reward pool program. Basically, you stake your BSW and you trade with some different pairs on BuySwap. And what you can do is you can get BSW, Wrap BNB, and BUSD. I'll leave more links to this underneath the video too so that you can learn more about this, but this has a really high APY. So one of the great things about BuySwap is how easy it is to actually swap your token. So all you have to do, go to their main page, go over to trade here, and then you go over to this page, connect your wallet, and then look how easy this is. From BSW to, let's say, Bitcoin, right? You can pick a lot of different cryptocurrencies, but let's say Bitcoin, and I want to swap about 100 BSW. Approve BSW swap. Go over here, then just approve it in MetaMask, confirm. Then after you approve it in MetaMask, just hit swap. You can see too the trade fee is 0.2 BSW, so just 0.2%. And you can get up to 50% return to you, which is awesome. So then you just go over here and then confirm there as well. Then you're all set. Then you can also go and stake BSW. So when you do that, you get pulled to this page, the launch pools page, and this auto BSW is what I tried out. You can just go right here, make sure that you approve it in your MetaMask. It's super simple, but then you can put the max amount on here or whatever you're comfortable with. Make sure that you approve it, and then you're all set. You'll get up to 30% right now, but obviously these change depending on supply and demand. The cool thing about this auto BSW as well is it's automatically harvested and compounded for you every 5 minutes. Now, BuySwap is a partner of the channel. My link is underneath the video. If you want to help support the channel, you can definitely use that. Otherwise, you can always look up their socials as well. I'll put links to all this underneath the video. Special thanks for checking this out, and special thanks to BuySwap. Now, we just got new home sales coming in today, and they fell 12.6% in July. And this is a big drop. This is the lowest, this is the lowest sales number since January 2016. A year ago, 726,000 newly constructed homes were sold. Now, the median price has also gone up. So not the average price, but the median price has gone up to 439,000, up from 402,000 last month. So right now it's still becoming much more expensive to become a new home owner. And the reason for this is because as the Fed continues to raise rates, it continues to increase the cost of a home through the mortgage rate. So the mortgage rate continues to go up. As it goes up, the amount of purchasing power drastically goes down. For example, back when we had 3% interest rates, you could buy a $350,000 home and the mortgage payment would be $1,180 a month. Now we're around 5.65. So if we just take the in between here, in between 275 and 246. So now a $260,000 home is just as expensive as the $350,000 home. So you're getting a lot less home. If you look at it a different way, in 2021, the 30-year mortgage was 2.65 and the average new home price was $400,000. Now the 30-year is at 5.65. So 3% higher, and the new home price is $547,000. Assuming a 20% down payment, that's a 95% increase in the monthly payment from $1,294 to $2,525. So it just shows how expensive homes are getting. And I think this really shows that the housing market is going to soften, because I don't think that we're necessarily going to see the Fed start cutting rates very soon. I think possibly next year, probably next year, honestly. They'll start cutting rates again. But in the meantime, they're still going to increase rates. So you would think that mortgage rates would at least stay the same and probably move up a bit. So as that happens, the cost of buying a home, just due to the higher mortgage rate, is going to continue to increase. And that means less and less homes are going to be bought because people can't afford homes. And that means that there are going to be fewer and fewer buyers. There's going to be the same supply most likely. And the fact is that that means that there's just going to have to be a decrease in the home price. So if you're looking to buy a home, hey, that's good for you. The problem is it still is going to be more expensive because of those higher mortgage rates, but you can hopefully refinance in a few years once we do get lower rates. Now that's a little bit of a bet, but if you're an investor and you have cash sitting around, that's great for you as well, because the cost of buying a home is going to go down. There are going to be more renters as well, most likely, because people won't be able to afford homes, at least over the next year or two, while rates are still high. So that might be a good investment opportunity because of, again, you're going to have cash. You're not going to have to rely on mortgages as much unless you want to leverage more. And then again, you'll be able to get renters in there probably a little bit faster, and they're willing to pay a little bit more because there's going to be more of a shortage on renting because there are going to be less new home owners. Now, I could always be wrong, but that is how the market's setting up right now, and it's really interesting. Obviously not great if you're a homeowner unless you're trying to buy more homes or buy more home itself and be able to upgrade to a bigger home because of the decrease in price. Now, I think this is another good point for cryptocurrency. I know a lot of people think that I just pull cryptocurrency in any situation and talk about how it benefits as opposed to whatever I'm talking about. But the fact is, you can see the manipulation of rates and how that affects homeowners. It makes people worry about what their home's going to be worth in a year, or what the home that they want is going to be worth in a year, and all this kind of thing. However, with Bitcoin, we know the exact amount of Bitcoin, unlike housing. We don't know how much housing there's going to be. And also, there's no kind of difficulty with trying to gauge what some overseeing power is going to do with rates, or what some overseeing power is going to do with monetary supply. The fact is, we know exactly what's going to happen. Now, this still affects Bitcoin because a lot of people think of it as a risk-on asset. So they change in and out of their positions depending on what kind of rates they can get in other markets. But the fact is, Bitcoin is very attractive in markets like this, in the sense that there's so much uncertainty and Bitcoin gives you certainty. I think that's a major benefit of holding Bitcoin. But of course, always do your own research. This is just something that I'm noticing when so many people are worried. It's nice to understand what's going to happen with some kind of token supply. One last thing I want to talk about is the thing that is providing a lot of uncertainty that I think will be cleared up in the following years. 1/3 of estimated 115 million Indian crypto users concerned about regulations. So with regulation, there's so much uncertainty, especially outside of the US, but even in the US, obviously, as well, with the government now looking into crypto. We kind of know where it sits. A lot of them are going to be securities. Bitcoin and Ethereum seem like they're not going to be securities. But the fact is, a lot of this will be cleared up over the coming years because the popularity is just growing so much. I think it's, again, one of those scenarios where if you're too regulated and if you're too cautious about allowing innovation, you're just going to lose out on a lot of opportunities in your country and a lot of growth in your country. So as time goes on, we're going to have to set up good regulations that protect consumers and investors. But the fact is, you're still going to have to let innovation happen. And I think a lot of this will just be over in multiple years. Of course, there's always going to be further regulation, right? They still talk about regulation in very developed markets. But the fact is, it's not going to be as big a concern, and that's going to cause more people to want to invest in it. As we've talked about before with BlackRock and Fidelity starting to offer this to clients, the fact is that if they are allowing millions of clients to invest in it and they're investing in it themselves, they probably know something that we don't and are thinking that regulation is going to be okay for this industry. So let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. Let me know what you think about the home sales going down, and what do you think about the overall real estate market. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Check out BuySwap, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.